Hey guys, welcome to my channel and welcome to today's video. Today we are doing a quick comparison video. Recently I uploaded a video on this Huda Beauty Khaki Haze palette, and after that there was some discussion on how this palette is similar to the Huda Beauty Smoky Obsessions and the Anastasia Sultry palette. So I thought let me do a quick comparison of the shades which are in here, and then you can see how this palette compares to the other palette. So this is how this palette looks like. Let me take the Huda Beauty palette first, the Smoky Obsessions palette. Okay, here's a close-up for you. This is how both the palettes compare. Both have that neutral cool vibe with a little bit of warm shadows in there, but both give you a very similar vibe, and somebody was mentioning that this palette is very similar to that. So I'll just show you some swatches and then you can see. Okay, that's better. It's a little closer. I think it will be more clearer. Okay, so let's talk about the matte shades first. There are 5 matte shades in this palette and there are 4 matte shades here. You can see that out of all the matte shades, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, there is just one matte shade, which is this one, which is kind of similar to this one. Other than that, there are no other matte shades which are similar in both the palettes. So I'll swatch this. This is the Haze Beauty. Formulation is superb, very smooth. And then I have this one, which is the Smoky Obsessions. I'm trying to swatch and focus at the same time. So you have a lighter version and this one is a little bit deeper. So I'm swatching both of them. There. So out of the matte shades, you can see that the brown shades, the brown, deep brown tones are similar, or these two are almost same in both the palettes. So in matte shades, there are not many similarities, just one of them. This is a olive tone which is not here, and these are two warmer browns, and there is a lighter pink shade. Now let's move on to the shimmers. Okay, in the shimmers, in this palette there are 4 shimmers, 1, 2, 3, 4, and in this palette there are 4 shimmers as well, 5 shimmers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and in both of these palettes, the shimmers, you wouldn't see a lot of similarities, but I will still swatch this one, which is a little bit closer in tone to this one and this one. Other than that, all the other shimmers are actually quite different. So this is the Huda Beauty shimmer. The texture is very different. The Huda Beauty Haze Obsessions is more shimmery, glittery, and the Smoky Obsessions is very metallic. So here is Smoky Obsessions. You can see the tones. They may be a little bit similar, but the texture is totally different. They will look very different on the eyes. This one has a lot of sparkles and shimmers, very iridescent. This one is metallic. So if you look at these two palettes very closely, there is hardly much similarity. Just this deeper brown shade. Other than that, all the other shades are very different. So both are very different palettes. Okay, now taking a look at the Sultry palette. The Sultry palette of course has more number of shades, but we will see if you have the Sultry palette, do you really need the Haze palette? Are there many similarities? So first of all, again looking at the matte shades, 5 matte shades here, and here you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 matte shades. I think 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 matte shades in the Sultry palette. And out of all the matte shades, again my eyes go immediately to the brown. I think the brown is pretty similar. So this is, let me swatch this one first. So this is the Haze, super smooth, and this is ABH. Very similar in tone as well. The Haze one just maybe a tad bit lighter in tone, and ABH maybe just a tad bit deeper. So those are the 2 brown shades which are similar, of course. Then we have these warmer shades which are not here in this ABH palette, and then we have this olive tone which is again not there in the ABH palette, and then we have that light pink sort of a shade which is not there in the ABH palette. So again, the matte shades, if you compare, the Haze palette has different tones of matte. Other than that one brown shade, there are no other mattes which are similar. Let's move on to the shimmers. So out of the shimmer shades right here, you have this very nice white gold kind of a color. Here you don't have that kind of a white gold, you have a pale white pink, like a very pale shimmer over here, and then you have a deeper gold. So I'll just compare these two. This is the Haze palette. So this is the Haze palette. The texture is very different. I hope you can make out the sparkle and the shine. And this is the Sultry palette. So you can see the texture is very different. The color is also quite different. This is paler, this is more gold. Next we have that pink sort of a color. This one also is like a pink with a golden shift. So the texture again is very different, and it has a lot of sparkles. You can see it has pink with a slight gold shift. And we have the pink in Sultry palette, which is called Rose Quartz. It's a metallic light pink color. I hope you can see now. So the ABH Sultry one is a metallic light pink color. Very different shadows, different texture. The only one shade which I think is somewhat similar is these two, this one and the shade Ember, which is one of my favorite shades in this palette as well. So if you're looking for an olive gold, both of these palettes have that. So here is the Haze palette. Very, very pretty. This one is also has a metallic finish, but it has a little bit of specks of glitter as well. And this is the ABH one, which is somewhat like this. So the ABH one is also quite similar to the Haze palette one, because the ABH one also has a metallic finish, and it also has some very, very fine shimmer or glitter infused. But Haze has more. So I think I can just say that these are the only two shades which are similar in both the palettes. The next one is, of course, this is a corally pink sort of a color, and in this you don't have anything which is even close to something like that. So this one is not there in the Sultry palette. So again, in this two palettes also, I think there's just one shade or two shades rather, one matte and one metallic finish shade which are similar, but rest of all the other shades are actually quite different. So you may feel like the Sultry palette is pretty similar to the Haze palette, or the Smoky Obsessions is pretty similar to the Haze palette, but in reality when you go and actually swatch, they are pretty different, and the textures are also quite different as well. So yeah, that's the video for today. That was the Haze palette and the Sultry palette and the Smoky Obsessions palette. I hope this video was helpful. Do let me know what are your thoughts on the comparison. I will see you guys really soon in my next video. Bye.